Hi, sorry I haven't made a video in a little while. I've been writing a lucid dreaming book, and that's been taking up quite a lot of my time. It's pretty much finished, the first draft anyway, and now I've most recently been querying publishers and sending out book proposals, which is a very tedious sort of process, and it's taken a lot of my time and energy, but I thought I would make a video today. Also, in doing that book proposal process, I've been thinking a lot about what the overall message of my book is and how it differs from other lucid dreaming books. And that's really just made me think about my overall message and perspective overall, including on this channel, and what exactly I have to say about lucid dreaming and what the point is. And so I wanted to make a video about that, what the conclusions that I've come to recently about why I think lucid dreaming is so special and what it has done for me overall in my life. So, yeah. And overall, most importantly, I think the biggest impact, most positive impact lucid dreaming has had on me as a person has been on how I deal with stress, worry, anxiety, fear, things of that nature. So, for me, and I don't want to generalize about other people's dreams, my dreams are usually stressful. Not to say that I don't enjoy them, I really love dreaming, but there's usually, almost always you're trying to do something, or again, in my dreams this is the case, I'm trying to do something, I'm trying to get somewhere, things are happening. I would compare it to like you're in the middle of a story, right? I call all of that stuff like dream plot. It's like this drama, this plot that you're engaged in. You're like in the middle of the story, in the middle of this novel. It's just how I like to kind of think about things. And in my experience, you pretty much never get to the end. And again, I don't want to generalize. Other people's dreams could be very different from mine, but I think it is generally true for most people that I talk to, if you're dreaming about trying to get somewhere, for example, you probably don't actually get there. Or if you do, when you get there, you're faced with some other problem that you're trying to solve. And so, yeah, for me, you pretty much never get to the end of your dreams, except or unless you become lucid. That's one way to sort of end the dream, or to basically disengage with that plot by realizing that it's not real, it's not happening, and you're kind of wasting your time worrying about it. And so, for me, personally, the best thing about lucid dreaming is when I have a similar process happen when I'm awake. And I just think it's a really magical thing to have a lucid dream. And my favorite part about it is just the moment when I realize that I'm dreaming and I get to just let go of all of this nonsense that's going on. And I think that's just a very powerful experience, to be so sucked in and so convinced and so invested in all of these things, and then to realize that they are very literally not happening at all. And so when you're awake, it's a little harder to see that, but that is very often, and I would go as far as to say usually true, when you're worried about something. Whatever it is, it's probably not happening. And I don't want to make this sound easy, and I've probably made this disclaimer before that I am not a medical professional. I am not a therapist or a psychologist at all, but this is just a conclusion that I have come to. And having those lucid dreams and realizing that, wow, things can be so convincing, so realistic, you are so engaged and so invested, and it can be 100% untrue and unnecessary to be engaged and invested in those worries. And it's just so easy to understand that when you're dreaming, and then, obviously when you're awake, it's harder because you make up these stories about worries about the future that seem very real and seem very important in the exact same way as your dreams. But I think the more that you have lucid dreams, the more that you realize that, if you count waking and dreaming all together, I think it's pretty undeniable that most of the time that you're worried about something, you don't need to be. Or to put it another way, most of the time that you're worrying about something, those thoughts are not productive, and your time could just be better spent doing something else. That's not to say that I'm a high anxiety person. I don't know how to say this exactly. And I think in a normal and healthy way that I I do tend to scan my environment for things to be concerned about. And I don't necessarily think that that's a problem, and I don't want to say that lucid dreaming has eliminated that for me, because that can fall in line with just like being productive and responsible and taking care of things before they do happen if there is something to be worried about. I just know that lucid dreaming has allowed me to recognize how often those fears are fictional. So, and that's the main point of the main perspective of my book, is to guide people through that process, like starting with, of course, nightmares specifically, or even just like mildly unpleasant dreams, using lucid dreaming to deal with that, but then also hopefully taking that attitude into your waking life. And that's why my book focuses as much as it does on the connection between lucid dreaming and meditation and other metacognitive activities, and including a lot of research that I've done on those things. So I think it would be really great if one of these publishers decided to publish it. Let me know if it's something that you'd be interested in reading, knowing that that is the focus. So, yeah. Sorry if this came out a little rambly. I'm a little rusty. I haven't made a video in a while, but I do tend to try to put them out on Thursdays. So subscribe if you thought this was interesting, and stick around. Check out my lucid dreaming playlist, because I've done, I think, more than 20 of these videos at least so far. And I do videos about other things as well. So thank you for watching. See you next time.